What is going on?
What's up, Avi? Happy 2025.
Happy 2025. Already started off the year to a bang. I love it. So many great things are happening. Like Dermpath.
Love a good
I
Dermpath.
know, I know. Ah, what's going on?
Uh, in the dermis, there's a large amount of infiltrate, and from broad magnification, it looks as though that it's lymphs with a few histiocytes because there's some pale staining.
It's kind of like a
Granuloma.
granuloma.
There is no peripheral palisading though.
No, there isn't. I agree. There's also another cell type here.
Uh, oh, newts?
Yeah, neutrophils. So lymphocytic infiltrate with neutrophils. So separating granulomatous inflammation. What might we think about category wise?
Perhaps infection
Perhaps
or
an infection. Perhaps. So let me see if there's the other line. And in fact, we have what over here? Find a better one. Here we have some. What's this?
the reason for our inflammation.
The reason for our inflammation or the reaction to
Or
our inflammation?
it's like it's all that's like all artifact. You're talking about like the spaces in between the
No, no,
dermis,
no. I'm
or
talking about the epithelium of the
oh
epidermis.
yeah, no, the epithelium is looking not great.
Well, it's looking what's specific. Let's see if I can find. Well, this is ulcerated. Hard to find, hard to show it when it's ulcerated. I guess this is the best we got. But is this normal thickness? Like here is like compare
No,
this over here, this where we're out of it to this.
yeah, it's like
Not the
uh,
best.
it's not great. It's parakeratotic. Um, the actual epidermis again looks like not great as
Thickness.
well. Yeah,
Here.
it's thick there.
Thick. So what's a hyperplasia?
Hmm.
Is it cancer?
No,
Okay. Pseudocancer?
pseudocancer. Uh,
Pseudocancer, hyperplasia. What's
hmm.
that? You can actually say pseudocarcinomatous hyperplasia. It's another way of saying pseudoepitheliomatous
Oh,
hyperplasia.
pseudoepitheliomatous hyperplasia. Okay.
And there's neutrophils also.
Uh-huh.
So there then it's
Are we, should we go down our line of pseudoepitheliomatous hyperplasia?
pseudoepitheliomatous hyperplasia with
Uh, pus.
yes.
So here come big green leafy vegetables.
Okay.
So halogenoderma,
Uh-huh.
chromomycosis, blastomycosis,
Mhm.
granuloma inguinale, um, uh, leishmaniasis, and pemphigus vegetans.
Also, chromo and coccidio can also be there. And in fact, I will just say that you may have a question where you get pseudoepitheliomatous hyperplasia, and you're looking through cuts that look very similar to this. And you're like,
Hmm.
And one answer might be halogenoderma, and another answer might be coccidia, or
Rotted.
some other, or some other. And then I'm looking and looking and looking, and where is it? Where is it? Maybe it's on the other cut, and lo and behold,
Oh, that's it. That's what we're looking for. So it's like a kind of like a refractile wall. Um,
what's the shape of it?
it's like oval. It's like circular.
Very circular. It's like a sphere.
Yeah.
In fact,
There's
it's
no
called the.
it's not an endospore. Um,
Well, it has endospores in it, actually.
oh, duh. I thought
In fact,
is this coccidia?
yeah,
Oh, really? When I think of like the endospore, I think it's more like I don't know. Able to more appreciate like the little tinier circles that are
Mhm.
inside of it.
Yeah, it's a spherule,
Cereal. Okay.
and not to be confused with something else that forms a soccer ball.
Chromomycosis or protothecosis, my bad.
No.
Or marula, which is a
Yeah,
marula.
one morulates, the other one spirulates.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, interesting. So then, I guess like I guess I would have immediately because I would have thought this would have been blasto just because of I saw this like refractile wall, but you're saying that this is more
In fact,
spheral.
look at this one. This is way too. First of all, this is larger than Blasto. Look at this,
Yeah, it's fairly large.
and also there's you can see endospores.
Sure,
Endospores.
yeah. Okay, I believe you, obviously.
Well, don't believe me. Believe your eyes. That's anyway. We did.
Blasto tends to be the size of like a keratinocyte nucleus. So that's what I always tell people. And then, but you're with cocci, one thing, Avi, I don't know if you noticed, depending on where it's processed, sometimes you don't see those endospores. So that's when like size kind of helps more so than anything. But anyway, so you can't always rely on those little endospores in my experience.
Of the thank you, Dr. Meehan. Of the differentials in our PEH with pus, is coccidio kind of like the largest thing that we're looking at?
The largest fungal organism?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that of that differential. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And but like you were
Oh,
saying, blasto.
that's a good photo right there. Yeah. Now I see it.
Yeah,
Now,
like look at these. Like and
yeah,
yeah, like we're saying, like some of these you can't see endospores in here.
yeah.
Like this one I can't see. This one I can't see. The
But they're
other one
huge comparison to
did have it
blasto.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
exactly.
This
these
is
are
good.
huge. These are like massive organisms.
Yeah, these are all really good photos.
This one we did. What is it? To not belabor the point.
Oh, tinea, like tinea in the hair follicle,
Yeah, and
or
it's deep.
myojokis, myokis,
Mayokis.
myokis, depending on who you ask.
Okay. Oh, here we're gonna get into some lovely, lovely fun stuff. So we don't really see much, and you know what the chapter is. So we're gonna start going. Is it something in here? If not, is it something down there?
Yeah, it's pretty scant.
Scant?
Or
No
as I
scant?
what like there I didn't notice like a lot of inflammation in the
There's
dermis,
some
but
I
this
see.
Sorry?
Hyphae.
hyphae, yeah.
Hyphae. Okay.
They look septate,
Septate.
and they look like they're branching at 45-degree angles.
Yeah.
Is it 45?
Isn't that 45? Is that 90? I don't know. Yeah, that's more like 90.
Yeah, it's well, no, you're right. I don't know if it's 45, but it's a
I
cube.
see another one that looks more
Yeah.
like 90 right
This
above.
is also like, well, actually, like, which way are they branching?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, are they so
They're
we
not
learned about
ribbon like.
dichotomous branching versus more multifocal branching. So some fungi will have a tendency to branch dichotomously, where it's just you can typically here's one discrete unit and boom. And then there are some fungi that like to, oh, I'm going to branch from here, I'm going to branch from there, I'm going to branch from everywhere.
Okay.
Like here, this one. So here's a branch, here's a branch, here's this, and but yeah, okay. So in terms of the angle, okay, this is 45 wasn't a bad. I mean, it may even be actually now that I'm looking, maybe even more slightly more acute than that. But yes, you're right. Okay, so the acute angle tells you what?
That this could be aspergillus.
Or
Mucormycosis.
what's the angle in mucor?
90.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought it was
it's
90.
not acute, right?
Yeah.
Typically.
It's like ribbon and broad and non-septated.
It's well, it's poorly septated.
Or at least updated.
I wouldn't say it's non-septated. Okay, so what's our differential for this then?
Aspergillus.
Okay, that yeah, two things should come on the top of the differential then. So aspergillus.
Fusarium?
Yeah, fusarium.
Oh, Fusarium, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what sort of things can help us on a differentiate aspergillosis versus fusarium? So there's many different branch points off the same stem. You see that? Yeah, or nay? We agree there's multiple different branch points off the same stem? Or no? Am I making it up?
Yeah.
I think you're making it up.
All right.
No, so Avi, do they? So I remember, with cores, them asking to distinguish from the mucor family from Aspergillus versus Fusarium versus Cedosporium, which those three to me can look identical, and you need cultures, but yeah.
Well, I wasn't making up the multiple branching.
No,
Here
I
it
know you're
is.
not making it up, but I think I'm not sure. Does
Yeah.
that actually get tested?
So the testing points are the following. If you have these large, you see how these large swellings over here? If they get large, you don't always have this, but if you have it, that favors fusarium over aspergillosis. If there's a bunch of different branch points off the same stem, that favors fusarium over aspergillosis. If it's more dichotomous branching, it favors aspergillosis over fusarium. And the absence of those large swellings, you can't really make much. It's good when you have it to favor fusarium over aspergillosis, but if you don't have it, it could be either one. That's the basic rub.
And so for me, more importantly, and sorry to perseverate, but on
Sure.
that last one, yeah, no, typically the situation is mucor versus non-mucor, like the Aspergillus, Fusarium, Pseudosporium, or what have you. And just for you, so you guys know, like we all learn in medical school about the narrow angle branching versus the right angle branching, but in real life, it's not so straightforward. And you really have to, like the ribbony, large, thick hyphae or partially septate hyphae, those are much more specific for the mucor family. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I completely agree with all that. And in real life, I wouldn't be calling any of this. These are just board testings. Taking, just so in case you guys haven't realized, taking the strategy for taking the boards is not the same thing as the strategy for real life practice. Anyway. Well,
Organism is there.
mm-hmm.
It looks
Yeah.
like are these the well never mind.
Well, what do you see?
See, like these little I don't want to use Indian filing because that is like more carcinoma and Cruz or whatever, but like these basophilic.
You also don't want to use Indian filing because I'm going to cancel you for it.
No, yeah, yes, you would do that.
Yeah.
There's these like basophilic bodies that are lining up adjacent to one another.
Okay, what might these bodies represent? What might be separating them?
Septa.
Septa. Yeah. So this is a hyphae. And also, it doesn't have to come at you at that direction. Right? Sometimes they can come at you in the z-axis.
I came in a little bit late. Is this tinea?
It's tinea. Yeah. So nothing pattern. Sometimes, actually, in this case, not a nothing pattern. There's neutrophils, and neutrophils should prompt you to think. At least one of the things to think about is should be on your radar is a fungus, is tinea, and so in practice we will commonly get PASs when we reflexively when we see neutrophils, or even sometimes reflexively in almost any inflammatory condition. Okay. Someone biopsied this because it was
Okay, tonic.
well
Ulcerated
ulcerated.
or
Where's
inflamed.
the ulcer?
Thickened,
Okay, well, it might be thickened. It might
bloody.
depends.
Right.
Bloody.
Isn't that red blood cells?
Well, this might be procedural. It's on the outside, not. But look at what's this?
Pigmented.
Pigment.
Oh, is this like tinea but like when it's black like I forget the name of it.
Oh, you're so close.
I know,
You're
right?
almost there. What is it?
Tinea nigra.
Okay, there you go.
But the specimen, I mean, I don't know what the core is going to ask, but like, will it be like, what's this caused by, and then ask for like that horde?
Well, it actually, yes, actually, they can ask you for the organism. So what
Oh
is
my
it?
God, Brett.
What is
Like,
the organism?
is it like horde, like horte,
Yeah,
with a W?
it is with a W.
Okay, well, that's this is
So
it's
let's say they
based
give you
on
multiple
recognition.
W's. Okay. Forte Wernickeii.
We're neck, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And is this so? What is this going to stain with?
I guess you could say Fontana Masson.
Yeah, or PAS too. But yes, Fontana. Is this eumelanin or pheomelanin?
Yeah.
This is a trick question.
Can you remind us what the difference is?
Is it pheomelanin like red? Eumelanin's brown.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you melanin for that, but he just said this is a trick question, so
It is a trick
Neither.
question.
it's a trap.
It's neither.
It's neither. But it does stain for Fontana Masson. So they make their own melanin that's different from eumelanin and pheomelanin. It is some, I think what is it for something dinapthophthalanin. It's one of those naphthophthalinins. There are some fungi that can even make some bizarre type of melanins that have nothing don't even closely resemble a type of melanin we have, but for whatever reason still stains for Fontana. It's really weird. But yeah, they have their own little kingdom of fungi have their own little kingdom of melanin. But
Wow.
for whatever reason, it stains for Fontana. It's just this amazing stain that will just pick it up no matter what.
I'll remember that right after I remember the melanin synthesis cascade.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So here, and that was more subtle. Here's more obvious, hopefully. It's more of the same. Tinea nigra. Okay. And then with looks like we're on a bit of a theme here.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah, which is
Tinea versicolor.
and notice the scale. The scale is what kind of look at the
Flying away.
yeah, like a perforaceous scale.
Perforaceous.
Perforaceous. That's what they call it. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Not good.
Not good. Okay. Ugh.
Lots of inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay, what is it?
Crypto.
Crypto. Look at that capsule.
Yeah.
And in some cases of crypto, so look, crypto's like humans, right? Some people are introverts and some people are extroverts. For example, Scott, I know you are an extrovert. 100%.
That is so funny. I'm actually an introvert.
Okay, I know. What?
Like, what is it? The four letters or whatever. I register as an I. I am very much an introvert.
Well, I definitely register as an I. So okay, so we could like, all right, I did not expect that, but I kind of, well, you know what? Good for you, man.
It's where I get my energy, Avi. My energy comes from being alone into my thoughts.
That's so me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's just like humans. So some crypto like to have their own little house. See, has their own caps. However, some crypto are like the extroverts, and when they get together, look at what they're doing here.
Hmm.
See
They
all this
venture
goop
outside of the
space?
house.
Look at all the goop space. It almost looks like their capsules are molding together.
Yeah.
So that's something you can also see with crypto. You can sometimes when it gets really exuberant, it's like you can also see like it almost looks like you have a molded capsule together. Now they're really actually still their own capsule. They're not actually conjoining capsules, but it can look like that. Anyway, those are the extrovert cryptos. What stain is this?
It's staining.
This content I'm missing?
Yeah, because it's staining pigment in the basal layer.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So this is Fontana Masan.
Is this also like showing crypto?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So yes, it picks it up. Your capsule and your organism. And you didn't even see this on H&E. Like you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even see crypto making melanin. Maybe. So, well, we have some inflammation over here, actually. Some para. But it might, the action might lie further below. When you have a nothing pattern, we have to go searching. And so far, I'm actually underwhelmed. I'm wondering why I put this in the study set. It's like when we have, oh, here's why. Actually, never mind. Sometimes you just got to look at the whole horn. All right,
Are those hyphae
they
in
are.
the hair follicle? Would that
Well,
be?
You're not, are they in? Well,
Well,
they're
on they're kind of on the side,
yeah.
in the outer
You'll
root.
notice is there's something interesting happening here with the orientation of these hyphae.
The vertical, this is Canada.
Yeah, and you'll notice it maintains its vertical orientation here. Like, look at this
Yeah.
hyphae.
Canada can dive deep. Oh.
Yes, that's right. All right.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a Lobo? Okay, is this?
Lobo.
I don't think this is Lobo. It doesn't look so. I mean, it looks a little like pop beatish, but I just would have thought
They're
there
not
would
like
be more.
connected
Wait a
together.
minute. Hold on, guys.
Oh yeah, they kind of are on the side there, but that looks more like hyphae.
Guys. What's going on?
Oh,
Please, Avi, enlighten us.
What's this? and this, and this.
Hyphy?
Hyphy.
And then that pop beads.
Hyphy.
It looks like bubbly hyphy.
And this, it is bubbly hyphy. Right?
Yeah.
Bubbly hyphy, acute angle. It's and we're gonna show we'll show the other one. We're gonna go through all of them. But what are you favoring? If it's the bubbles are this large for the boards. In reality, I think I know.
Hyalohypomycosis?
Oh, okay,
Wow.
yes.
All right, let's keep it a little more simple. We'll get to those.
Oh God.
Well, for now we'll keep. So look, remember acute angle. What are the top two things you're thinking of? Acute angle. It's
Fusarium
not,
and
Fusarium and
aspergillus.
okay. So and it's also like not that really like poorly sept. It's clearly well septated, and it's not that real larger, thicker hyphae with like the poorly. And we'll get to it, but like it almost looks clearer. So you're not thinking of zygomycosis. You're not thinking of meatball.
No.
Okay. Now that we're in the Aspergillus and Fusarium category, we have to make a decision. Like, do we see signs that favor Fusarium over Aspergillosis? Which are
An amazing question.
the purpose of the boards. Okay, so multi-septation instead of dichotomous septation, and then there's very large swellings of the hyphae. Will favor Fusarium.
Fusarium. Okay.
So Avi, you're saying that's what this was labeled as?
I don't know. Let me check.
Because
Yeah, here it is. Fusarium.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so I tend to disagree with that, but because again, I think the family of Fusarium and Aspergillus, they tend to look really uniform, which this isn't. And you might get a little bubbling, but this I would be surprised if it didn't grow out some kind of mucor zygomycetes. Anyway.
Yeah, I now there are some things in Path Presenter that are incorrect. However, I have a hard time thinking these are incorrect because these are usually these usually get cultured and then put in after. But anyway, that's yeah. So I do remember one of the things at least that Elson makes a point of showing is he shows like these really large bubbling fusariums. And I can see like, okay, well, it almost looks like mucor now because like look how large it's getting. But yeah, I guess the things so for the purposes of the boards, because they do ask this. I do remember questions like this. So for the purpose of the boards, I guess there are ways you can get yourself away from if you're like falling in the trap and saying, okay, well, is this going to be mucor because of how large this is? A couple of things to look for. First of all, they gave you something that may be a little helpful. In reality, it might not be, but there is definitely acute angle branching. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, in this area, I mean, in some areas, it really is just this narrow septated thing. But
Sure. And again, like it won't perseverate. But yeah, definitely in cases with acute angle branching that grew out mucor,
Yeah.
and so and vice versa, that grew out aspergillus. So it just, I guess it goes to show how the cultures are probably more important, and some of the things we're seeing histologically can have can be a bit of a spectrum. But anyway.
Let's see. I'm sure we'll get to the goodies later. Let's see oh my goodness. Okay, what happened to this poor person? Look at this. Okay, we have what happened here?
A very like large growth, like an invagination almost.
Very large. It's a very pointy, sharp, thin invagination. It's like, how did that get there? With wow, neutrophils. And
Did they cut themselves?
yeah, something like that. Or they could have. There's some ulceration here too, by the way. But so one thing to think about is there might be some kind of adjacent foreign body here when you see some kind of like invagination to this degree. So I mean, there's a number of things on the differential. Like imagine if you get the top of this, and I've been fooled by something like this. Like you get a cut and you just get this, and then there's this invagination. You're like, okay, well, is this a dilated follicle? Maybe it's just folliculitis. After all, I see neutrophils in here, right? So, and then you get the bigger biopsy or you get some deepers, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is not a follicle. In fact, this is probably a foreign body. And what came for the ride?
Some copper bodies.
Well, are they copper bodies?
They kind of look like it.
What's their shape?
Oh.
Are
They're
they
more oval than round, I guess.
And in fact, this has a little
Except,
septate
well,
there. You can
those
see.
are really short.
I know, but they're
Hi-
there.
Okay.
Oh, and here's a better one. You can see a septate here. Yeah. So I mean, good start thinking about that on differential. Okay, is it chromo? But the problem with chromo is this is too hyphae septated. So what else? I mean, but it does have something here. I mean, it's clearly has a color to it, right? It's one of our pigmented fungi that we have to think about that in this context, which might be
Phallohyphomycosis.
mycosis. Okay, good. You guys are great. Oh, I suspect I have my spidey senses are tingling because I already see that we already see something like this, right? That doesn't look good. Okay. All right. Let's. Ew. All right. That doesn't look good. All right. So angio invasion. This thing is. All right. I guess we can see if it lives up to the test then.
Aspergillus.
Okay. And why did you go for Aspergillus and not Fusarium?
Uh, just like the gestalt of it. I don't know. I don't have a way
I'm not
of.
saying you're wrong, by the way.
Yeah. So I see, like, it definitely, we see hyphae. I don't know, like, you're kind of moving around fast, so I'm like, not really seeing a branching all the time.
I mean, there is some branching,
Yeah.
right? I mean, look at that.
That's a nice branch.
See that? Now, here's an example of where, maybe it doesn't. Actually, I don't know if this is the same thing, but this might be a branch off that. So may not read the book. One thing I don't see, do you see those really large swellings?
No.
No. Okay. So you see acute ankle branching. It's not really that, you don't see signs of, do you see any signs of mucor?
No, it's not like
No,
ribbon.
okay, good. All right, so then it's favorable. Then if you were to force to pick one, you would pick Aspergillus, and you'd be correct in this case. Let me just make sure. Yes, okay. This was Aspergillus. Okay, so then we have some more to do, of course.
This is zygo. Oh, I thought that was zygo that you
Right.
just showed.
Wait. No, that was this. Here we go. Hold on. No, wait. Are you saying the one I just showed? The one I just showed was Aspergillus.
No,
This-
I think
this one I'm going to show right now. Are you just like
Yeah.
reading my mind or something? Like, so let's see where we can get some good examples. All right, I'm going to try to find some goodies. Oh boy, it's already looking. So we're looking at our blood supply. This is all ulcerated and dead, so that's not good. So we have to think about compromise. And I see them, but I want to show you the good examples of them. So let's see. And they're here. And you'll notice that they don't really have the same type of wall. That's the first thing you might notice. I really want to find. Oh, here we go. See that? So first of all, our branching angle, that's one,
Oh yeah,
which is,
90.
yeah. But you'll also notice like there's something different about this wall, right?
It just looks
It's like,
broad.
yeah, it has more, so thicker, and it almost like I can see like, oh, well, is this a bubbling? Is this a swelling? So,
Mhm.
and I guess on at least on H&E, and by the way, it's even more confusing because if you were to put a PAS on this, by the way, you put a PAS on this, do you know what it looks like? It looks like the H&E of a bubbling fusarium. So this on a PAS basically looks like bubbling out fusarium. Because the PAS will make it purple like that fusarium looks like on H&E. But without the PAS, see how it's looking more clear? It's more poorly septated. Thick wall, poorly septated, and then the angle is less acute. All of
So
those things.
Zygo.
Zygo, Mucor, yeah. Just make sure I'm right. Okay, yeah, Mucor. And so yeah, like so this actually, and I did fall for this because it was the first time, because I was used to, when I was studying for these, when I was a resident, I was like, oh, okay, let's all just do H&E, because that's what they're going to test, right? And then I look and I see what essentially looks like bubbling out fusarium. And then I get tested on what's that? And I get it wrong. Because that was Zygo. Because it just makes it look, the color just completely throws you off. So just be aware of that. Here's another thing that could be another 3 things coming up that can be very challenging to separate apart on H&E, but you are expected to do it anyway.
Love.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's staring me in the face.
Right at you. Well, describe what you see.
Basophilic spheroid body with multiple different basophilic collections on the inside.
Okay. And what about what's radiating out of it?
Immunoglobulins.
Immunoglobulins. I'm talking about, just to be clear, I'm talking about
I was thinking the
red
split
strands.
I don't know how to pronounce it. The something hop
Okay, so there is a Splendori Hopley. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so Splendori Hopley phenomena. What is a Splendori Hopley?
Is this a grain?
It's a grain. Okay, well,
Oh my god.
okay.
Actinomycosis or
wait, there's 3 things to think about.
I know,
Don't jump the gun.
I'm not. I was listing them on me.
Okay,
I was
list them.
listing them. Actinomycosis, Staph aureus for like botrychomycosis or whatever.
Okay.
And then Nick or Celine are going to tell the other one.
So there's red grains, which is aspergillus.
So, okay, so one thing I will just say in terms of the colors,
Okay.
the whole white grain, yellow grain thing, I would be cautious about relying on that on H&E. I would not, that is not how I would approach differentiating them if you're given a slide.
Okay, so
you have to know them. You have to know them for because your clinical stuff and you're going to get tested. But that I wouldn't even go down that route.
okay, but isn't nocardia the last one?
This one?
No, isn't it botyromycosis, which is I guess strep, aspergillus and nocardia?
Okay, so for what? So staph strep you're gonna think what? You're gonna think it's going to be Botryomycosis.
Yeah.
If it's nocardia, you're going to think it's an actinomyces or actinomycetoma, which could also be
Oh yeah.
actinomycetoma.
And then the other one's eumycetoma.
Eumycetoma, yes. And what's different about eumycetoma?
Um. Oh gosh.
Species?
Like
The
by
kingdom?
definition or by like, because actinomyces is a bacteria.
Yeah. And mycetoma.
Oh, fungus.
Fungus, yeah. So in this case, it could actually, the reason I start off with this case is because this is actually on the border. It's hard to tell. This is really hard to tell. But one thing you can see is that there are these filaments coming out, which can get rid of one option for you, at least. You can see that it's not just Splendori-Hopley phenomena. There are actual filaments percolating out of here. These red little strands coming
I
out.
feel like that would get rid of Botryomycosis.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, when you
Because
say
wouldn't filaments.
when you say they're hard to, so Avi, with these, like you can exclude fungal with this, right? Like you're not going to look at this and go fungus. Yeah,
yes,
you
they're
shouldn't.
not, but
they
that's
should
why
be
I
able to,
included it.
right. So that's
I
not, so
included
it's
it
not
because it ended up in,
eumycetoma. It's not true fungus. Like I think, right. And then you're left with Botryో, nocardia, and actino.
right. So the reason why I showed this is because it really can be hard in real life, because this actually ended up being a eumycetoma. Even though you'd look at this and be like, this actually looks way more like actinomycetosis to me than a eumycetoma. But there are some hints.
This
Number
is
one,
labeled as a fungal infection.
this is a fungal infection. That's what it ends up being. And in fact, you can see this is from the foot. This was a Madura foot. So yeah, but I'll show the more classic example. This was just this little troll move there, but yeah, here's the classic.
Well, I don't know if it's a troll move. So again, it might just be not identified correctly. So
that is another thing.
Yeah, you can go in a high
but
power.
the point is,
it
looks like actino, right? You agree that it looks here.
Well, at super low power, but on
no,
high
not
power.
you. It looks like actino more than eumycetoma.
Okay, but I'm just saying so it's honestly not that difficult when there's a true fungal infection to see them on H&E at high power and be able to quickly exclude. Like actino is so much more filamentous and thinner,
right.
and the
so
grains of Botryո and
this example is like the more classic. Yeah. This will be the more easy one, and this is the case where it's like, okay, this is much easier.
This is easier for eumycetoma.
Yes. See, everyone got that. Like this is the easy eumycetoma. This is not going to be Botryո. This is not going to be actino.
And
it looks
sorry,
very.
Can you just explain, like, how do you know that?
Who said eumycetoma? Explain it.
Nick said eumycetoma.
Nick, why'd you say that?
Because you guys were talking about it previously. No.
Well, you can see the outlines of the fungal.
Is that really what those little like kind of hairy things? That's like a fungal element.
There's fungi in the ball, out and radiating out of the ball. Look at this.
Yeah.
Let's look at all the. I mean, here's the one grain, and you look at it, and it's like, oh, this is clearly more than just a grain. There's fungi in here, and here. See that? That's a hyphae. That's a hyphae. Like there's fungi all around here. So that's a much more classic example, assuming the other one was labeled correctly and it really was a eumycetoma. This is like for you to know, this is like the classical eumycetoma. You can easily see the hyphae. Compare that to now, if it's not going to be one of those. What about this one?
Mycetoma.
Actinomycetoma, correct.
So these are bacteria, so you don't have hyphae.
Good.
You don't really see the little.
Wait, sorry. Wait. Hold on. All right. You said actinomycetoma?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Let me show you this one. What's this one then?
The same.
Yeah, I would have thought the same.
Also actinomycetoma. Yes, this is actinomycetoma. But
Oh,
it's different.
work.
But what's different about this? Do you see any differences between this? Because this is actinomycetoma.
Yeah.
So one thing that can help, because they're one is a filamentous. So the actinomycetoma they have filaments. And in fact, they're not going to be filaments like to the degree that you saw in the eumycetoma. Eumycetoma, it's patently obvious. But one thing that I actually find helpful is the nature of the Splendori-Hopley phenomenon. Do you see radiating out of the grain how there are these like, again, like filaments coming out? Boom, boom, boom. Like spokes, pop, 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 pop. You see that?
Yeah.
Compare that to this other example. No, not that one. This one. Not that one. Compare that to this example. No, that's the same example. My God. Okay, here. Compare that to this example that we called that we were thinking actinomycetoma. What's different?
Oh, there's no like clear filamentous.
There's no filamentous. Filaments aren't there. There's just the Splendori-Hopley phenomenon. You see that? Where's the filaments?
Not there. So this
Not
is
there.
that's botriomycosis?
That's Botrio.
Okay.
Okay.
So they all have Splendori-Hopley.
Splendori-Hopley is
Yeah.
a general. It happens to now.
Happens in a wide variety of things.
Yes, it's
Not a wide variety, but
for the purpose of your boards, it happens to 3 things. I mean, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
What's the one with the immunoglobulins?
The immuno.
There's one where the immunoglobulins line up on the outside.
I mean, if
Or is it always filaments?
just talking about Splendori-Hopley phenomenon, it's a reaction to this infectious organisms. There are Splendori-Hopley phenomenon that are reactive to non-infectious organisms, but it's this eosinophilic material that's outlining these foreign
Yeah,
bodies.
they're immune complexes that's forming that eosinophilic halo.
Oh,
And
then
so-
in that case, it could be any of these things.
Right. And so, yeah.
I think I had an
I'll just
Anki
stop.
card that talked about this, which is why it's in my brain. But anyway, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you can see that there's an eosinophilic tinge to this one, this one, this one. In fact, all of them that we looked at have an eosinophilic tinge to it.
Yeah.
So merely observing a Splendori-Hopley phenomenon in and of itself isn't really going to get you the diagnosis. It's going to be, do I see hyphae? Is it fungal? Then you're in the eumycetome family. If not, you have to decide if it's filamentous bacteria or not. If you're in a filamentous bacteria camp, then you're either, if they give you clinical information in clinical context, you decide between actinomyces aurelia or nocardia. If it's not filamentous bacteria, you're in the botriomycosis. That's the rub. By the way, we finally cut into the foreign body that we saw before. What's this?
A splinter.
A
Yeah.
splinter. Yes. Sometimes things can come from the ride in the splinter. Oh, I would get a PAS on this. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, so thickness. Is it cancer?
no.
You
Okay. Are there neutrophils? Sure there are going to be.
Probs.
And histiocytes. Okay, so I'm not going to make you go through your differential. Some high yield places I like to look for the giant cells and histiocytes, granulomas, also transepidermal illumination. So like all of these and these and these, they're literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What might these be?
Good
Well,
stuff.
what's their size?
Small.
All.
very small. So remember we saw the coccidio and
Is
how
this like parasitized histiocytes?
yeah, they're histiocytes. I mean, sorry, there are histiocytes in the specimen, but what I'm getting at is
So I think
these
what
organisms are tiny.
it's the parasitized histiocytes is the pH girl mnemonic.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it is histo.
I mean, okay, so it is histo. I agree. It's histo because the organisms are tiny and but you also actually can even see in this case, they have what? They have something that, for example, leash does not have. They have a capsule, yeah. There's a little capsule here around this guy. Now, there are other signs too, like they'll probably give you a marquee sign for leash. But yeah, in histoplasmosis, each organism has a capsule. In leash, you don't have that in leishmania. Okay, good. So
Will they
that's
be really nice and tell us that this person came from the
no, of course
Valley?
not. Why would they do that?
That'd be nice.
Now, we mentioned this diagnosis already. It wasn't the answer, but we mentioned it.
Copper pennies.
Copper pennies. Good. So these are red.
Promo.
Promo.
Promo. Ooh, what's this going to be? Ooh. Anyone else get like completely grossed out by Fungal? Anyway.
Really, because sometimes I don't know what I'm looking at.
Well, in some sense that might be, helpful. Okay, let's see if we can figure this one out. Is it? So I mean, there were organisms. We have already started seeing them. In fact, just trying to look for the best high yield locations. All right, so there are organisms over here. These are all organisms, by the way.
Oh, that's the refractile wall.
It is a wall. These are individual organisms, and so far I have not shown you a characteristic defining feature of this.
This is lobomycosis and
And in fact, it looks in some areas like lobomycosis. It's not lobomycosis, but it looks like it in some areas. I totally agree. But not in a lot of other areas. I mean, there's too much heterogeneity in the size. The lobo is much more uniform than this. And where's a good, clean area to show? Okay, here we go. We found it. So this, and then this, and this. This is starting to grow.
Oh,
Broad bud based yeast.
Well, wait a minute. There's two of them. Hold on. There's a
this
central thing.
paracoccidio.
Yeah, it's starting to grow a mariner's wheel.
Oh, this is not an ideal image.
No, it's well, no, but the point but the point is, in fact, but okay, so what stain would you get to visualize it better? In fact, actually, so here's like sometimes you can see like it's like some people describe it as Mickey Mouse because you see like sometimes you just see 3 units, so you could see the large, small one, and the Mickey Mouse coming out on this other side. But if you wanted to like delineate it better, so they pop out at you, because this could be hard to see. What stain would you get to probably see it better?
Probably PAS.
By the way, here's another one. Look here. What about this one? Here we have 3 little ones around it. See? 1, 2, 3. A big one.
well, touch methanamine silver.
Yeah. GMS. Okay. And let's see if that actually helped us. Well, we can clearly see the organisms. I don't know if we're going to find a perfect mariner's wheel. Will we find the perfect one? The perfect captain of the ship? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. We need more than that. We got to make it perfect, guys.
They're all beautiful.
I know in their own way, it's true. We shouldn't really discriminate against the imperfect Paracoccidii. I think I did see one. Okay. So this is to show you that like the codas that they show you may not actually. Oh, here we go. You can see like this is the edge of a mariner's wheel. We don't have anything perfect in the center, but like we have the wheel, the spokes sticking out at here. That one's not too bad. All right, I'm actually somewhat satisfied with that one. But it wasn't perfect. What stain is this?
H&E.
H&E. Does this look like H? What's different? Hold on.
Blue?
Very. It's like
Come on, like sometimes they.
Yeah, it's staining artifact, different labs.
thing is all purple.
It's the hematoxylin.
Well,
Are you getting blue or no? That's not really blue.
all right. Well, let me. What's it lighting up then? Like, okay, so let's.
Glands.
Well, glands are lighting up. Okay. Does H&E do that? Does it make these glands pink?
No.
Okay. And does H&E take fungi and turn them really purple for you?
I wish. No.
It would be nice. Does it light up the neutrophils? Take it. So what is it?
I'm just randomly guessing. Is it PAS?
Yeah, it's PAS. So that's, I mean, so this is one of the things when we don't have a lot of sign out time together. We're not used to we're instantly recognizing stains as we might want to otherwise. But they can ask you just the stain. They can just give you a stain and not tell you what it is, and just you'll have to interpret it. So notice the PAS is lighting up. See how the neutrophils are more pink? That's one thing. It can light up neutrophils for you as well. Okay. What is going on?
Hyperplasia.
What's in here? What is going on here?
Are these pop beads? Is this logo?
Yes.
Yes.
I know.
And by the way, you asked about hyperplasia. The answer is actually no.
Oh,
This is not
weird.
hyperplasia. There's a couple things different about this. So first off, where do you think this is
What?
from?
Volar skin.
I understand why you would think that, but instead of a stratum lucidum, we have a stratum pincum. See that? This is a transitional zone between a stratum granulosum and what is actually a stratum corneum with retained nuclei.
Oh.
By the way, there's something weird about this stratum corneum with retained nuclei.
There's there's barely any horn on top.
There's barely a horn on top. There's also no artifact. There's no processing artifact here in the stratum corneum. When we process our stratum corneum, we have an artifact, right?
Yes.
Yes. Why does that happen? Why do we get like a basket weave or?
Because I mean the keratinocytes are dead and they're not stained.
Well, the xylene. So we use xylene. That's one, and that gets rid of the decolorizer. Like that xylene gets rid of the lipid. Also, the specimen gets dehydrated and it's very cornified, and so it pops inward and then flushes out. So the combination of getting rid of dissolving the lipid and the dehydration of the processing gets rid of the stratum corneum cells, and you're left with that basket weave. Now, in this case, that didn't actually happen. Now, the nuclei are retained. That's actually normal here in the stratum corneum, but you'll notice that the cells are retained too. this is what if you had parakeratosis, this is what your stratum corneum would look like if it didn't have that artifact. Also, this is way too large for normal hyperplasia. And also, what's the dermis doing? Is this normal fat?
No,
No. And what's this other tissue?
like clefting, or I guess I mean because globo forms like these keloid like
We're out of the
nodules.
lobo now. The lobo is back here,
Oh,
right? We're just trying to figure out why everything looks so weird. So this is fat, but what's this tissue?
Muscle?
Muscle.
yeah, it looks like muscle,
And
smooth muscle or skeletal muscle.
skeletal muscle. And the skeletal muscle is very intertwined in the fat.
Mm-hmm.
Not like anything remotely normal to what you might see, have ever seen.
No.
No. In fact, none of these things are actually normal to what you might see or probably ever will see. Do you know why?
Because look,
Oh, is this not human?
It's not human.
Yes.
This is
Oh,
not a human
interesting.
specimen.
Is a dolphin?
This is a dolphin.
Oh
can
my
they do
God.
that?
This is a biopsy of a dolphin.
No.
That's
they can't
messed
put a
up.
No.
That's
Yes.
messed up.
This is a biopsy. Well, why do you think we didn't just kill the dolphin? Why do you think the dolphin died?
That's a lobo.
Because it had lobo.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's explain. So look, the reason why the stratum corneum didn't wash out is that dolphins have a different type of lipid makeup that actually is much more resistant to xylate. That's one. The other thing is it's not is keratinized, and so it doesn't dehydrate out as much. When it dehydrates, everything dehydrates with it. The inner cell doesn't pop out. So you actually do get this normal parakeratosis with this retained cells in the stratum corneum. It doesn't have a stratum lucidum, but it has this pink layer separating the spinous layer from the stratum corneum. It has a very hyperplastic epidermis, and this is blubber, by the way. Blubber. Blubber is the type of fat that is intertwined, has this fat for insulation, but it also has, for the structure, it has the muscles that are not separate from the fat. They're intertwined in the fat, and that helps it move its body through the water and help it maintain its rigidity and everything. And also it kind of looks like almost reminiscent of mucosal epithelium in some areas. And that's also important because it's an aquatic animal. Anyway, this is a dead dolphin from lobomycosis.
Wow. Here in dermatology, we learn about all animals.
We learn about everything here. And unfortunately, okay, back to what species?
This is human skin.
Yes.
There has to
Notice we
be.
have our artifact back again. Hello.
And there's some pigment.
Well,
Dolphin doesn't have.
there may be pigment, but unfortunately, this person was immunosuppressed. And they actually were a dolphin trainer, by the way.
Wait, is this Lobo again?
This
This
is
is
Lobo.
Lobo again.
This was an immunosuppressed dolphin trainer. So both species, the dolphin.
How do you
and
know
the human,
that?
got dolphin. I know it. Okay. I only make up true stories. Okay.
Interesting.
Not true. He's trolling.
It's gaslighting, what Avi does best.
No, it doesn't say on the info and path presenter dolphin trainer.
But maybe Avi.
I wrote to Path Presenter about
maybe
this
put it
specific
there.
issue. Okay. I spoke to Raj. Anyway,
Also Lobo.
you might think that there's something a little weird about it, though. So one thing I want to point out to you is this is happening here, and there's like a line coming out over here. That's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is like it's also in histiocytes. Okay, well, maybe that can happen with Lobo. It's also out of histiocytes. In and out pattern. And by the way, if this was like really smaller, what would it remind you of?
Crypto?
If it was really small, where's the gelatinous capsule?
Histo?
This is actually not the bad size for crypto if it were to have a capsule.
Histo?
Mhm.
It was really small.
Histo, yeah, if this was really small, it would remind you of histo. It would be a dead ringer for it. The problem is it's like giant histo.
Oh, is this African histo?
African histo. And what was that thing I was pointing to before with that line coming out of it? In fact, maybe I'll give you a better thing over here. come on. Here. What in the world? Doesn't let me do this.
Maybe try closing a tab.
No, here it is. See? That's this line I was pointing to.
Oh.
See, you got a
Oh.
circle and you got a boom. It just pops out.
Oh yeah, yeast and Langerhans cells.
Yeah, but
Oh
that's
wait, no, that was in
this
Steve.
is called, this type of budding is called explosive budding. Yeast explosive budding. You have this circle and boom, little tail pops out. Anyway, that's another thing you could see.
Cool.
We're almost there. And now, by the way, we have
Oh, is this rhino?
rhino.
Rhinoscler? No.
I don't even know if we're in. Okay, wait. Tell me what you see. What do you guys see? What am I circling?
Are we dealing with protothecosis?
Soccer ball.
Yes,
Soccer
yes.
ball.
It's a
Yeah,
soccer ball.
Marule.
What did you call it, Nick?
Like a morula or whatever, like the
Oh, yeah.
Morula. It has
what
morula.
embryo?
Marula, Morela.
By the way,
Morula.
what animal is very vulnerable to this?
Dolphins?
Oh, not dolphins. Dolphins are immune to it, actually. But there is an animal that we all love that's very vulnerable to it.
Dogs, cats.
We don't love cats. We hate cats, actually.
Okay.
Damn.
They're bad. They're evil. But there is an animal we do love.
Dogs.
Dogs. Yes.
This is prothecosis?
This is protothecosis.
Protothecosis.
Protothecosis. And it's actually more lethal in dogs than it is to humans. In
Aw.
immunosuppressed humans, it's quite lethal, but it's more lethal in dogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bad.
Mosses and whatnot. Finally, because everyone likes the meme.
I thought sorry, Avi, to explain what I was thinking it was, it kind of looked like a McCulloch cell.
Nah, wait, okay.
That's why I was saying rhino.
So in McCulloch cells, those
Like,
are
how do you tell the difference? It kind of looks the same.
All right, let's go back then, because it does not.
No, we can finish and then we can.
All right,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. All right, no, the finishing is, the move is right here. It's just
Blasto.
Blasto. Okay.
Hopefully.
And now we're going to go back to the McCulloch cells, because that is not the same thing.
Okay.
And it doesn't look the same thing. I will prove it to you. I will. Okay. So, where were we last time? Last time, when we looked at our little rhino, we had rhino, we had there was the good cut of our McCullochs, So what are McCulloch cells fundamentally? What type of cells are they?
Histiocytes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's unique about the McCulloch cells?
They have like inclusions in them, which are
Mm-hmm.
They're vacuolated, they're foamy.
They're foamy, yeah.
Yeah.
They
Now-
contain bacteria.
They're stuffed with bacteria, so they don't have the kind of internal architecture that you have with protothecosis.
okay.
It does,
And they're big, but
Mhm.
they have, first of all, they have something in the middle.
Yeah, there's like
Well,
that
there's
basophilic like concentration.
Well, they
Like,
still
is
have
it a
our
nucleus?
nucleus, and then they still
It's a
have,
nucleus.
They also have their basophilic concentration, and they also it has that foamy appearance. I mean, if I put this side by side, all right, look here. Here's side by side. This right here, there's no central nucleus in here, by the way.
Mhm.
See, like a histiocyte. It's just the soccer ball thing. And then if I go back, Like I can kind of see why, like you can have these like, but it's not it's not morulated. It has that central, that histiocyte. I mean, they are histiocytes.
And there are going to be tons of plasma cells that'll help you too. There's prototheciosis. You usually don't have anywhere near the number of plasma cells you have in rhino.
And another thing that can help you if you really are lost is this location.
No.
Yeah, I mean, okay, here's a better guy. Like, look, here's these are McCulloch cells. These are it's bubbling. It's just bubbling, foaming. There's even a tinge to it in some areas. Versus this prototheta like that is it's not bubble. It's not like this expanding, bubbling out histiocyte. It's just this compact. Like you take little bubbles and just compact them together. Whereas the other one looks like it's exploding. This is compact. This has no nucleus, and like Shane said, there's inflammation of the plasma cells. And the other in the McCulloch cells, they look like they're about to blow. I don't know if that's helpful. Is that helpful?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Excellent job, guys.
Great job, Avi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Avi.
everyone. All right. Very good. I did not
You
forget
next.
to record it this time. Okay, good. All right. Later.